Next guest says $5 trillion is in sight with the company's re-entry into the Chinese market. Melius research analyst Ben Reitzes joins us now. Is a buy rating target of 235 for Nvidia. Ben, how important is China, especially given the fact that it's not clear the Chinese government is encouraging some of the bigger customers, potential customers of Nvidia, to buy the H20?
Well, hey, David, good to see you. I think China's pretty important. I mean, that's really the wild card on Wednesday night, whether we can keep it in our model or not. Most people are thinking we won't, sort of like AMD did, where it's more prudent to kind of keep it out. It's at least 10% of sales and 10% of EPS. It was running at about an $8 billion per quarter demand rate. So that's what we're looking at here. Most people didn't have much in it for the quarter that's coming up, the October quarter. But we were hoping that it would be a big boost to the fourth quarter and next year, and I think it's a matter of time. They'll get it in there, and Jensen is unfortunately, has to now kind of be a diplomat even more, kind of because the Chinese government's a little upset about some of the things our Commerce Secretary said. But I have a feeling it'll all work out. They really need the chips, David.
They do. So there's no real replacement for the chips. Huawei and some of the other domestic so-called competitors can't really compete here.
In our opinion, we've seen a lot of fodder around the Huawei chips, and they just really don't stack up. I think that really the key here is that an American stack needs to run AI globally so that China can't get better at it and export that stack to Europe and our allies. And I think that the administration knows that. And I do feel right now that even the H20 is well ahead of what they have, and especially the software stack. There's a lot of things you can do with the CUDA stack that helps you optimize the chips, even those that are, let's say, pushed down in terms of performance. So I think right now it's a critical time, and we need to make sure that Huawei doesn't gain advantage. And right now they are still pretty far behind.
It's a positive scenario that you lay out there for Nvidia long term, if in fact it's going to be this American stack that's running things globally. But if you were to present that to the Chinese authorities right now, are they willing to just buy into that, or do they feel as if having access to chips now is going to be a bridge to something down the road where they can develop domestic expertise?
Well, look, I think right now we're in an AI arms race globally. You got to get your hands on the compute to train and optimize the models and then run inferencing. And if you don't have the compute, you can't compete. I mean, one of the good things about having Elon Musk on our side is that he proves every day that more compute does give you advantages. He does seem to be gobbling up as much as he can, and then his models keep getting better. You see Google doing the same thing with their own TPUs. And the more compute right now, the better, and you can get ahead. And China is innovating with models that have certain techniques that don't gobble up as much compute. But I think more compute right now is the way to go. And so I do feel like we got to find a happy medium here, because if you don't invest right now and get the models and get your economy right-sized for AI, you could fall behind. So China's in a bit of a conundrum here. I think they do need the chips. It's just there is some face saving involved right now that you kind of wish didn't have to happen. But I think eventually Jensen will get his chips in there, hopefully by the fourth quarter.
Ben, there's this brewing narrative that AI data centers, an interesting map today out of Bloomberg, is severely affecting the rate of change of electricity pricing, especially in the Mid-Atlantic and up here in the Northeast, New Jersey, New York. And I wondered, are you sort of looking to a period where the AI build-out gets some populist pushback because of what it's doing near term to utility prices?
Well, I don't want to get in a political discussion, but I do think you're asking the right question, Carl. I think that the question on this call is, I think Jensen's crushing it. I think that they're doing a great job. I think that the hyperscalers are buying these products from Jensen like crazy, and into the fourth quarter even, we should see some big sequential growth with the Blackwell Ultra. So the key question for Jensen is going to be, what are we doing about power, Jensen? What can you do to increase tokens per watt, which is the key metric, so that we can flex the grid? Because really, in our opinion, power is the factor. And we just initiated power at Melius, by the way, with James West, and we're going to be working with him closely on that. We see by the end of the decade, at least 30 gigawatts per year needing to be added to satiate AI workload demand. So that could be up to a 2 trillion TAM for Nvidia. However, the grid needs to be optimized to do so, and the laws and everything. And I think that is the key question. We did see some rates increased in New York, and obviously there's an interesting political climate right now in New York. So we'll see what the pushback is. But I think the key question for Jensen is he's going to have to become a power engineer even beyond the chips. He's going to need to work with the power, the grid, all his suppliers and all his folks